Chapter 26, Fire in the Skies. Saturday nights in the National Detention Center are more subdued than any other evening. Even in prison, people can sense the end of a week. Maureen Donovan was in the last hour of a long 12-hour shift when she followed behind the kitchen workers, making sure everything was clean, put away, and all the inmates had left. As she turned off the lights and began to pull the door closed, she heard the faint squeak of a heavy door and the sound of labored breathing. She turned and noticed the door to the walk-in cooler was open slightly, casting a sliver of light into the dark kitchen. In the light, she saw puffs of warm breath and a bloody hand wrap around the edge of the door. "Help! Code 3, Maureen shouted into her comm unit. "We've got someone down in the kitchen." Maureen ran over to the cooler door, weapon drawn. She inched towards the door, slowly reaching towards it, and then she quickly jerked it wide open. A young female inmate was on her hands and knees, and blood was smeared over her cheek and neck. 4 more guards came charging in, guns drawn and pointed down. Maureen kept waving a portable scanner over the woman, but nothing happened. "Do any of you recognize her?" Maureen asked the others. They all said no. "I've scanned her 3 times, and I've got nothing." "That's impossible. Every inmate has a passport," one of the guards recited. "Unless it was cut out," Maureen said, pointing to her bloody neck. "I'm not an inmate," the woman moaned. She was shivering uncontrollably. "What happened?" Maureen asked, holstering her weapon and throwing her jacket over the woman. "She asked for help with a stack of meat boxes. She closed the door. Then she came up behind me and started choking me. I blacked out, and then I woke up in here. I felt an itching pain in my lower neck, and when I scratched it, it bled all over. I think she stole my passport." "Who stole your passport?" asked Maureen. "The one you should be looking for." "I'm sure she took more than your passport," Maureen said. Code 7, repeat, Code 7, unknown female inmate, most likely escaped with a stolen meat delivery truck approximately 2 hours ago. She may be using a stolen uniform and passport." "Damn it," stopped one of the guards. "This means we're going to go on lockdown. We're going to be here all night." "Tell me about it," Maureen said, helping the woman to her feet. "This is my never-ending shift." Here are some insights. First of all, who do you think made the escape? Jude and Zara are not there anymore, remember, so it's somebody else. Who do you think was daring enough to make that escape? And it was a she, so we'll find out. For context, what happened before this scene is that President Connor is very mad at the Sparrows, at the Sacks, at Jude and Zara. He's mad that they are not in custody anymore. And the NADF, the New American Defense Force, decides that they are going to respond to this guerrilla art demonstration, and they basically drop these paper bombs on the Sacks. They are incendiary, but in a firework kind of way, and what they're made of are fragments of the art that was left in Washington, D.C. And basically, they're trying to send a message of intimidation to the Sacks. So they drop these bombs, scare the daylights out of everybody in the Sacks that received them. But it was clear what the message was. As soon as the paper bombs kind of went off and people started picking up the mess, they realized these are, pieces of the art that was put in Washington, D.C. So it's a response. It's kind of a how dare you, try to demand anything. Now, Jude and Zara are still in Slate Creek, but they're not about to raise their heads. They can't just drive out and go around to the Sacks anymore. They are #1 most wanted. The president is furious. He has made some kind of weak connection to Callum and is using this terrorist designation. So Jude and Zara are definitely target #1, and New America is now most wanted. So they've got to be careful whatever they do. All right, coming up next, we're finally going to get to a point where something is going to move for Callum. And they're going to finally have a trial, and we'll see what happens. See if he has any chance of getting out, or if he's just going to be another pawn in this game, and he might never see the light of day. So let's find out what happens in Chapter 27.